prop bets of the week for Ohio State Northwestern on Saturday in Evanston. Nathan Baird, you got something good? We have better things to choose from. Some weeks it's weird. Some weeks it's like, hey, there's not that much. There are some good individual prop bets related to passing yards, rushing yards, receiving yards that we actually have a chance to choose from this week.
Yeah, so Northwestern's Evan Hull, there's an over-under of 50.5 on his rushing yards. He is obviously Northwestern's only real weapon this season, but he's only averaging 4.3 yards a carry. He has gone under 55 yards in 3 of the last 4 games. Iowa held him under that. Wisconsin held him under that. Penn State held him under that, and his success came against teams like Nebraska and Southern Illinois, and a decent game at Maryland. And I just, from what we're hearing about what conditions are going to be on Saturday, yes, it's conducive to teams having to focus on the run game. I don't know that necessarily means it's going to be easier to run the ball, and I think that a Northwestern passing game that has been uninspiring for most of the season already is going to be even more so. Ohio State can really kind of sell out to stop the run. Ohio State's run defense this year is pretty strong. They're averaging, they're holding opponents under 3 yards a carry. I'm taking the under on 50.5 yards rushing for Evan Hull.
I think that makes a lot of sense. He's also their most dangerous pass threat, and I do think they're not going to be able to get. They have a really good left tackle in Peter Skoronski, but in general, I think if they want to get Ethan Hull the ball, they're probably better off trying to throw him swing passes and get him outside than trying to work against Ohio State's defensive line. So I think that run game bet is really good. Steven Means, what you got?
Yeah, so there's a prop bet. Mayan Williams is over under on rushing yards is 64.5, while Travion Henderson's is 85.5. Both of these guys have played in 7 games, but it's been a while since we've seen them both play in the same game. In fact, the last 2 times they did it, it was the Iowa game where neither one of them could run the ball, and then it was a week before that against, and it was a couple weeks before that in the Wisconsin game where both of them had over 100 yards. I'm going to trend that way, and some of this is me catering to the weather and the fact that maybe they don't get to chuck it around as much, but also they want to establish the run game a little bit, but also Northwestern's not very good. And so it's a combination of all those things coming together where if this were an outrageous prediction, I'd say those two would combine for 200 yards in this game. But I think both of those hit the over pretty easily in this game. And I don't think they'll have to have a lot of carries to do it. We might see them both creeping on, or they're creeping up to these numbers by halftime. And then maybe they both get another series or 2 in the third quarter before they shut both of them down for the day and hand it over to Chip Trayanum and Dallin Hayden. But I think both of these guys get over on their mark 64.5 for Mayan Williams and 85.5 for Travion Henderson pretty easily, because they need to reestablish the run game here, but also the weather might force them to have to do so.
And also, again, if we're assuming Mayan Williams is going to play after his injury last week, Ryan Day certainly is talking about it that way. And if he wouldn't play, as Tyler Shoemaker has said, if the guy doesn't play, then that bet gets wiped. Now if Mayan plays 3 series and re-aggravates something, whatever, then you could be in trouble. But the idea that this might have to be a run game for Ohio State is also part of mine. And I feel silly. It's like, this is basically betting on the weather. And it's like, oh, cool. Betting on the weather is fun. Maybe, can you actually do that? Can you bet? I mean, everybody wants to bet these days. Can you bet, will it rain today or not? There's probably a weatherbetting.com. Weatherbetting.com. Let's see. So I'm going to take CJ Stroud over under passing yards, 293.5. I'm going to take under. Believe it or not, in the 5 Big Ten games, he's gone under 293 in 3 out of the 5 games. Now, one of them is against Iowa, and Iowa's pretty good at defense, and Northwestern is not. But I think weather, game script, maybe a defensive score or 2 for Ohio State that eliminates a possession for Ohio State, sort of the running game stuff that Steven was leaning into, maybe the last best chance to really get Kyle McCord some reps. I just think there's multiple things at play here. And that's one of those things. If I was betting hard-earned Dougie money, now I'm going to the game and it's it's sunny and there's no wind. And then I'd be like, no, please start to. And so, I mean, do you want to do that? Do you want to live in a world where you're rooting for rain, which is kind of what you're doing, Nathan, if you're taking this under, but I guess I am.
Well, honestly, I still don't know if it's a bad bet, even if it's sunny and dry, because he may not play that long in this game. It may be 290 yards in the first half. You're still under that.
And it is one of those, of all the things, it's Ryan Day usually likes to let these guys get at least 2 series in the second half, often even a series into the fourth quarter. If it's super goofy with the field, that's another extra reason to get CJ Stroud out of the game. So I'll take the under on this. And again, we're kind of all leaning in a way where like we're trying to anticipate certainly less than ideal conditions in Evanston. Listen to our Buckeye Talk podcast. Try the text at 614-350-3315. Read cleveland.com/OSU. We'll see you guys Saturday in Evanston. For Stephen and Nathan, I'm Doug. Thanks for watching this Buckeye Talk video.